there that there is in the running world. There are so many things that you could buy. What are 5 really legitimate quality of life improvements that you can get from stuff out there? So if you're somebody that is getting into running and wants to maybe add a thing or two to make your life better as you're getting into running, this is going to be a video for you. My name is Joe. I manage a local running store, and I see people come in all the time asking for this, that, and the other, and I've kind of distilled down the top 5 things that I think can make a difference for you as you're running. So I'm going to go from the 5th to the most important, and I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3. Also, this is a live stream for anybody live. Hello, welcome, thanks for coming. I do these live streams every Saturday at 9 and try and cover just different topics that are going to be applicable to runners like you. So without further ado, we are going to go with number 5, the 5th most important thing that I think you can get. And that's going to be a good running watch. So this is a Coros Pace Pro. Absolutely not a mandatory have. I really like it because it makes tracking what you're doing way easier. You know, there are so many things to keep track of already in life. I don't feel like adding like mileage needs to be another thing. Now, I will never gatekeep anything. You don't need any of these items to be able to go run. So please remember that. These are things that are going to make life easier as you do more. So watches are expensive, but they're really useful. You don't have to get the latest and greatest. I am a huge fan of getting stuff off Facebook Marketplace or getting it refurbished, like paying full price. Just, I don't feel like you really need to for something like this, especially if you're just getting into it. If you have more features, or if you're getting like into triathlons, or you want multiple different things, or you know, any number of things, you can go for a more expensive watch, sure. They can get really expensive, but you can get a great watch between, I don't know, used, you can go like $100 to $150, and I'm so certain that you can find like a Coros Pace 3 under $150. That said, if you want to get it new, super reasonable as well. You can get a lot of new watches that are in pretty good shape, or well, they would be in perfect shape because they're new, around the $200 price point. So Coros has the Pace 3 that's on sale for $200, even though it's brand new because the Pace 4 came out. The Pace 4 is $250. You can look at the Garmin Forerunner 165, which I think is $250. You can get a Forerunner 55 for right at $200. Like, there's a bunch of stuff in that range, so you can get a lot of bang for your buck that direction. Pretty easy though. Watches are great. They let you track your heart rate a lot of times, most of the time. They'll give you GPS data. They'll track your weekly mileage so you can see trends over time. A lot of them will do sleep tracking. But that's my 5th most important, because I think it being a little more expensive of an item, and then the fact that you don't really need the data would be the 2 drawbacks, and why it lands at number 5 instead of at number 1. The one good thing is it is kind of like a buy once, cry once. I had a Garmin last for 7 years before it finally died, so they can last a long time, not necessarily like a consumable that you have to re-up all the time. Number 4, hey Randolph, considering the Pace Pro, I really like it. I think you get a lot of the benefit of the Pace Pro in the Pace 4. The battery life is good. The only real big difference from the Pace 4 and Pace Pro is the Pro is a little bit bigger display, and you get more memory. So you can do more maps. Like, you can download more maps into your watch. So like for me, I do a lot of trail running here in the mountains. That's actually really useful for me. But I think a Pace 4 would be a lot of what you need, and it's $100 cheaper. So if you like the big display, by all means, go for it. But I think Pace 4 gives you a lot of what you need. Okay, so number 4, the 4th most important thing, or a nice quality of life improvement, is very near and dear to my heart because it's something I've been working on for a long time. That's going to be a really good running hat. So for anybody who doesn't know, I am working on making a absolutely custom top-down running hat. And this is actually falling into a broader category of all sorts of clothing, I don't think you have to spend a lot. You don't have to go spend, $80 on a pair of shorts. Just find shorts that work well for you, or half tights, or like a tech shirt. You don't have to go spend a whole bunch of money on like a Bandit, which is like a bougie brand in the running space. You don't need a Bandit shirt. I don't have any of them. They don't do a lot different, but find stuff that works for you. If you're getting Fabletics and that works for you and you're not like chafing, that's super ideal. But good clothing, a good hat can make a big difference. So like you can see through this. Actually, you can see my face and you can see like the mountains on my shirt through this hat. That's because it's a really lightweight hat, which is going to let you vent heat better. And then like perforations through the side like that. Having a bill that you like. So I like this semi-curved bill and I like it to be kind of flexible, but not all the way crushable. If you like a square brim that's really firm, great. That's totally cool. Just find stuff you like. I like that this is reflective. Let's see if I can get some lighting on it. Yeah, you can see it kind of glowing here a little bit. Reflectivity is good because it gets you seen at night or in the morning, stuff like that. A good running hat can be really nice, especially when it's fitted well to your head. So try different stuff that's out there. And that goes for all sorts of clothing. You don't have to spend all the money in the world. Just find good quality stuff that works for you, and hopefully you don't have to buy super regularly. That would include socks as well. So good running socks are really nice as you start running longer. My easy runs, man, I'm going to wear whatever's on my foot. I would go to Costco and grab the huge pack of the Puma socks, and like they're totally fine. But if I'm going to do a 15-mile run, I think it just makes sense to me to have a sock that feels better on my foot, that's really lightweight, that's moisture wicking, hopefully avoid any blisters that could be around. So that is number 4. Number 3 is going to be gels. So this is science and sport. This is a really expensive gel. It's the nootropic one. This has like 200 milligrams of caffeine. Now, I say gels, but I more specifically mean nutrition in general. As people start running longer, as they are spending more time on feet and burning more of the stored energy they have, putting carbs in becomes more and more important. And actually, I'm not really specific on this at all. I like the form factor of gels, but you don't need to spend $4 on this. This is fine. It's good. I'm glad I have them, and I'm glad I can get them through the store. But I'm not gonna. I probably wouldn't spend $4 on that unless I was trying to do a really specific one-off session. I'm cool with having gummy bears. I'm cool with having gels. Just the form factor of gels is easy when you're doing long runs and you're putting a lot of stuff in with you. But liquid carbs, which we're going to get to actually in a second, having anything going in that sits well on your stomach that you can do repeatedly, all of that is going to be what I'm really talking about here with nutrition. So gels are going to let you continue running for longer periods. If you don't have any carbs coming into the system, your runs are going to get more and more uncomfortable the longer and longer you're running. So we have little stores of sugar like this in our muscles, specifically like in the location of wherever's working. Well, actually all around the body, but you're going to be using the stored energy, those little glycogen molecules, little molecules of sugar, that are in the working muscles, and you're going to slowly eat through that, and then eventually you run out. And as you get closer and closer to running out, your body says, hey, I don't really want to do this anymore. We're getting kind of low on energy. How about we conserve that? And what it does is it throws fatigue at you. It sends signals that say, hey, maybe we should come down a little bit. Maybe we should relax a little bit more. And then you're trying to fight through that, trying to keep going. And that's what that lack of energy feels like. It feels like an accumulation of fatigue. Having any sort of carbs, whether it's a gel or liquid carbs, so like Tailwind or Scratch or anything like that, if it's an apple or a banana or Sour Patch Kids or Skittles or peanut M&Ms, any of those are going to add energy to the system that you can use. So I said your muscles have it, so why does it matter if you're eating it? because when you eat it, it gets absorbed into the bloodstream and then it can go supplement down in the working muscles. It can say, oh, I want some of that energy. And then you can use that for fuel. So you can use what you just consumed as fuel to help stave off some of the fatigue. Number 2, especially as we start getting warmer into the summer, it is really important to stay hydrated. So a hand flask like this is really big. So this holds 17 ounces of water, so like a normal water bottle size, and it fits right on my hand. I really like how it's pretty hands-free, so like it stays right where it's at. I think these are really, really beneficial. You know, even as you're getting up to like 5 to 10 miles is when I would maybe start grabbing it. And it's not a mandatory thing. If you can loop back to your car, you don't have to bring anything with you. You don't have to carry anything extra. But if you know you're doing like an out and back and you're going to be out for an hour and 15 minutes and you're going to be in the sun and you're going to be losing a lot of fluid, having a hand bottle like this that you can fill with water or the liquid carbs like I just talked about, you can put water in, and then Tailwind is a powder, or Scratch is a powder that you can put in to the hand flask. And then you're getting carbohydrates and you're getting sodium, usually those are together, and you're getting fluid in to help replace what you lost. Also, pro tip, if you do get a hand bottle, you can put ice in here, and that is really nice if it's hot outside, because your body pushes heat from your core out to the periphery, so out to your hands, to your arms, to your legs, trying to get heat off. And if you have something cold, your body has a much easier time pushing heat from your arm into the ice, and then the ice warms up eventually. But that can be really nice, especially if you're in the middle of a long run. You can stop by your car and grab something cold. Really cool. I think I even want to kind of play with the idea of making a slushie and putting it in here as we warm up more. I think that could be a cool way of keeping the body a little cooler, which means you can work a little harder. But yeah, staying up on your hydration, hugely important. You're getting hydration, you're getting carbs, you're getting sodium and potassium and magnesium and calcium, like all things that are important for staving off like cramps and stuff like that. Last one. The most important thing that I think you can get for running as you start running more, and again, I'm not going to gatekeep any of this. Like, you can get any of this when you're brand new. You don't have to have any of this so long as you feel good and healthy as you start running more. So take all of this with a large grain of salt. I think there are just a lot of people who enjoy getting into the culture of running. But the number one thing that I think you can get that's going to make a tremendous impact on your running as you do more of it, and that's shoes. Obviously, I do a lot of shoe content on the channel, and I have more shoes than I probably need. But for you at home, even one pair of good running shoes will make a tremendous difference. If you're coming out of like Vans or Converse, or even just a kind of cheap pair of athletic shoes, and you get a good pair of nicely fitted running shoes, it will make such a big difference for your entire running trajectory, right? So beyond energy return, beyond like fit and feel and enjoying the feeling of the shoe, your runs are going to feel better because you're not taking as much impact into the body. You're going to recover better. You're going to be more, you're more likely to avoid injury. All of those things are worth more than anything that I just spoke about, right? So the water doesn't matter if you're not out running because your body hurts because you were wearing bad shoes. The hat doesn't matter if you're not out running. The watch, if you're not doing any running at all, you can't track what you're doing. So having the ability to stay consistent and go again and again and again, because you have a good pair of running shoes that fit well and help protect you from the ground, is going to make a tremendous difference. So those are some of the really big things that I see people actually getting value from when they're at the running store, when they're trying things on, when they are getting more into the running culture of things. If you have other things that you think are more valuable having than any of these, by all means, let me know. I'm all ears. If you want to check out the Ontos running hat, I have a wait list that is live, which is really cool. So I went through and spent over a year fine-tuning the hat, going through I had 4 different samples made. Actually, it might have been 5. Might have been 5 samples made. That was like each thing needed to get changed a little bit and tweak and tweak and tweak until I made something really good that was fully custom and that I was happy to like put my name behind and really really give something good to the marketplace. So I do have a live waitlist on ontosrunning.com. That's the name of the brand. You can see that right here. ontosrunning.com is that. I also have like shirts and socks and quarter zips. If anything like that is of interest, would love some support there. So yes, I'm a little biased, but I also do really like a good running hat, and I've been really stoked with how this has performed as it started getting hot here in Boone, North Carolina. So with that said, if anybody is in the chat right now, would love to talk, hear about what your running is going like right now. If you have any problems, issues, anything, if you're considering, like Randolph is, a watch, like what are you considering? What are your 2 options? I am so happy to just make this an open time where I can give freely to anybody in the chat. I know we've got a handful of people in here actually right now, which is super sick. If you've got more running questions, I'm all ears, would love to hear what's going on. Randolph, did you run this morning already? I feel like we did move through that kind of quick. So if anybody is coming into the chat, then by all means drop questions as we come in. Good morning, Adam. Randolph says, good morning. My long run came up short today. What was going on with it? Good, bad, just it was a short run. All ears. Adam, how was the 5 a.m. squat club session today? And thank you. I thought it was actually really cool. I was able to do some like cool product photography kind of things to be able to get it into the thumbnail. Thought that was pretty cool. Also, I don't know. You've told me a couple of times, Adam, that stuff isn't getting put into the live stream, the things that folks can already get. So if I do that and change the pin, see a shopping link on the screen. Looks cool. Excellent. Is it like on the actual screen or is it just below it? I'm super curious. I don't want it to be like in the way and annoying or anything like that, but still no link in the description. Man, that is so weird. Huh. Well, it's on the screen. Neat. I don't know. I feel like that's as easy to click as anything else. I will go look in the description again though, I guess. I keep trying to figure it out and I keep not doing a good job. What was the workout this morning, Adam? Tell us about the hat. Ah, you missed it, but I can do it again for sure. So this is the Ontos running hat. I've got black and we will have white coming. So in the summer, I am definitely preferring the white hat. Sandbag, box squats and floor presses, big time. I love those. That's a very nice workout. Were you going sandbag here and then squatting down to the box? Because I love how much core that forces. It's like, oh yeah, your posterior chain is going to get really strong. But yeah, these are the hats. You can see how breathable they are. Actually, the black does a better job of showing it, interestingly. So you can like see right through the hat. You can see the mountains and you can still see my face as it comes across. So super breathable hat. Some reflectivity. You can kind of see it popping here, which is pretty neat. Oh, getting that angle. Yeah, that looks bright. So it is really reflective at night. You can make it pop quite a bit, which is great. The bungee in the back, Always a big fan of the bungee for the hats. I think that's really helpful. Yeah, bear hug. Sweet. I will definitely have to play the video through and throw some support your way. Yeah, that's kind of what's going on in my world. Randolph, you said the long run came up short. Is all well on that front, or anything like interesting? Do the workout, Adam. Maybe I ought to. Unfortunately, I do not have a sandbag. What do you have people do as an alternative if they don't have sandbags? I do have a 45-pound plate that I could bear hug. I think that would be my closest option, or maybe stack a couple of them, put a little band around it, and then they're not flopping all around, but you can do more than 45 pounds that way. You ought to use a loaded backpack or a plate. Yep, that makes sense to me. I just like the idea of the bear hug with the actual sandbag, because you have to like use your pecs to squeeze in, and then you're also getting so much bicep because you're in a more extended position. Very fun. But a plate would still work for sure. Maybe I can get Ashley to do that after our 7-mile run this evening. Adam, you did a fair amount of running in your time. What have been some of your favorite things? I went through and talked about like 5 things that I find to be pretty useful from least to most important. I was like a running watch, and then all of the apparel together, but like I really like hats. So a hat being really important, then gels slash nutrition as you start going longer. The only reason I say that's not more important is because the next one is fluids, so like water or anything that's getting you water, sodium, and maybe some carbs that way. And then the last one was shoes, that I find to be very important. Not a big gear guy. I used to wear shoes and shorts. I think that's really reasonable, to be completely fair. Um, I do like the hat. I do like the watch for data tracking, but that's actually my entire idea with the Ontos brand, and why I like the name Ontos is Ontos means being. So whatever, any different facet that you are digging your physical activity. So whether it's running on trails with no watch and just a pair of shorts and shoes, or you're trying to go for a marathon PR, or you're just doing your very first walk jog, or you're doing CrossFit in the hybrid thing, whatever any of it is, I just want to throw support behind what everybody's doing on that. So staying fit, showing up for yourself so you can show up for others is the whole idea behind Ontos. So I love that you had a way that worked for you and that you enjoyed. So I love it. Randolph, I maybe could have used another hour of rest. So like an extra hour of sleep. That makes sense. There are some days where it's just like body doesn't have enough juice to go. And I think cutting like a run short when your body's really not into it makes sense a lot of times, as opposed to like really grit and grinding through. Like there are times when it makes sense to grit and grind, but I don't think you always have to do that. And I think there's a difference. Like you went out and you did the thing. Now, if you're just tired and you're like, I don't want to go run, I think that's a little different. Because a lot of times I will feel that way. And of course, I'm just going to bully myself into going out and doing the thing that I said I was going to do. And 50% or more of the time, days where even the first mile or two don't feel good, as I get more into the run and the energy systems get up and going, and then you start getting some nice happy chemicals from your brain, you kind of get into a rhythm. And then you can say, wow, I actually crushed that workout, got the whole thing in, and I'm happy I didn't give up, or happy I didn't stop the, didn't, you're happy you didn't not go for the run. You're happy that you did do it. Now, the alternative, what you maybe did today was like, you go out anyhow, even though you maybe don't feel like it. And then you say, oh man, my body does need more rest. My body is not there all the way. So like cutting a run short for that reason, I think makes so much more sense. I was hearing forecasts of rain for late morning, so I started early. Yeah, totally makes sense. Did you end up getting poured on, or were you able to avoid that and it just ended up being you didn't have enough rest in total, and then body was kind of mad about that? Also, I'm going to have to go at like 9:35. I do have to get to work and manage said running store. So if you ever need anything, obviously you can check out Mountain Running Company too. Would love to fulfill an order for you. Um, yeah, I'm curious if it was just the body being tired or like accumulated fatigue. Um, when you have long runs throughout the week and then you have a long run at the end of the week, or if your volume has gone up during the week and then you've still got your long run to do, that can be pretty hard on the body. So curious if it was just general fatigue from maybe not getting enough sleep, or if you felt like it was something else that had a factor in. Obviously, the more I can get context, the more I can help you and other people when they've been in, or when they end up in situations like that, and ask me about them. Give it a little longer here. Trying to think what else. I've got a medium long run. Actually, I'm doing a cool video with Ashley today. So we're going out and doing the, she got an Alpha Fly from, like, we bought it from Nike directly, and it was a really good deal. She's going to use it for a half marathon and then a 15K she's doing a couple of weeks later. And we're going to go get a first run review. I actually don't have the Alpha Fly. So that'll actually be really cool to see her getting into a really fun carbon plated shoe that we got for like a ridiculous deal. And then after that, we've got 7 in total. So she'll do 3 miles like my normal review is. Then we'll switch out of those into some normal shoes and we'll get our last 4 miles together. Then Sunday, tomorrow, I have between 14 and 15 miles, somewhere in that range. I'm trying to get some more vertical climbing because I have that 50K coming up. Had a good pseudo long run, like 11 miles on the road earlier this week. And then I'm going to do my long run as like a time on feet, get like 2,000 plus feet of climbing. Try and get the body more and more accustomed to getting the climbing and descending, which both are hard to recover from, which will be beneficial because I'm going to have to recover from it come June. Ugh. Let's see. 3 folks still in the chat. I've got just a couple of more minutes, so I'm more than happy to pop on any other questions or thoughts y'all might have. Have a good one. You out of here, Adam. Hope you have a great day. We'll see you soon. Oh man, the dual stream didn't work. That's unfortunate. This is supposed to be a vertical and a horizontal video today. It happens. Cool. Well, if I don't hear anything in the next minute or so, I'll give it to 9:32, unless it ticks really quickly, and then I would stay to 9:33. At any rate, if you got any last things, do you use maps a lot with your Quaros? Yes, I do, Randolph, but that's because I do a lot of trail running. So let's see if I can do this live. It'd be really cool. If I go into, I'm going to do this like backwards. If I go into a run, let's say a trail run, don't start the workout, but if I go into navigation, I can choose like a handful of different routes that I like doing. And if it's a new route, I can put it in here and then like say, this is like Shoals Mill Road down, so I can get some vertical like climbing right after. Oh man, there's so much glare. There we go. And then I can see like the directions here, which is nice. I can either go back to where I'm going or follow my map. And then if I start the route, it's going to say, hey, you need to go somewhere else. And then I can see my whole map here. We can pan and zoom, we can zoom out, we can zoom in, and then I can also touch screen and go all over the map. So yeah, it can be really beneficial. You can zoom in a whole bunch and see what all you're around. So I do use the maps quite a bit. End navigation, and we'll finish that, and then we'll delete it. But yeah, I actually do find I use the maps quite a bit. I think they're pretty useful, but it's because I do a lot of trail running. I don't really ever use it when I'm doing my normal running. If I were going somewhere new, I would maybe consider it, but I feel like a lot of times when I'm somewhere new and it feels safe enough, I just like going to explore, like go get lost somewhere, get mileage in like easily and for fun. So yeah, I don't do it a bunch for the road. The Garmin Instinct Solar for almost a year. I mean, honestly, if it's still working, I'm totally game to keep using it. That's what my brother has. He does like more, what's it called? Not mountaineering, not wayfinding. When you're going out and like you're hiking to a point and then you go to another point and then you go to another point and you can like kind of jog some pieces of it. I can't think of what it's called, but he does more of that. So he likes the really long battery life. He likes the solar charging. GPS is good on it. So I've got no problems with the Instinct Solar if it's still working well for you. If the battery has died or anything like that, kind of different story. But yeah, I don't have any problems with it at all. I try not to spend money when I can avoid it. But now realizing some features are behind what Quaros does. Oh, absolutely. Garmin, I wish Garmin cared about the running community, and like, I wish they cared to make the running app, the Garmin Connect. I wish they made Garmin Connect better. I think it's ridiculous that they have Connect and then Garmin IQ maybe is what it's called. It's been a minute since I've had Garmin. But yeah, the fact you've got multiple different interfaces to just run the thing, I think their programs are less good than like the training programs that Quaros has. Quaros's are really, really good, honestly. I run their programs pretty often and I'll just kind of tweak stuff as I go along because I'm comfortable doing that. But their skeletons are really good. Their progression is generally really smart. They do 3 up, 1 down. You can see how you're pacing for the week if you're doing what you need to be doing or if you're behind or ahead. I think Koros is a better, I think they do their job better. Garmin's just like a bigger ecosystem. Also more expensive, which I don't love, but I'm just a guy. At any rate, it is 9:36, so I do have to get heading to work. I got to leave in about 4 minutes. So we had everything packed up and ready to go before we had to do that. Hopefully some of this was helpful for you. I hope we can see you again next week. Randolph and, well, Adam's gone, but thank you for coming. I do appreciate you spending time with me, Randolph. It's super helpful to have somebody to talk to and kind of bounce ideas off of. If you have anybody else in your running circle that wants to hop on, would love to chat with them. Yeah, I hope you have a great weekend. I will see you hopefully next Saturday or in any of the videos. With that said, I think we're going to end it here. Have a great week coming up.